Hello, everyone, and welcome to Astrology in the News for March 26, 2018. Not too much going on today since, we don't want to mention you-know-who, otherwise known as Trump, who seems to suck up every news cycle from here to infinity. But hey, I managed to find stuff that doesn't involve Donald Trump. Well, actually, no, I take that back. It, some of it actually relates to Trump in one way or another. So I guess all roads lead to Trump nowadays. So anyway, starting with the yogic wisdom of the day by the great Swami Muktananda. The heart is the hub of the sacred places. Go there and roam. And remember that next time you visit Texas, because you're in the heart of nowhere and there's plenty of places to roam. It's this big sky country and it's open. God bless Texas. Don't shoot me next time I'm there. I really like you guys. That's my Bill Clinton thankful voice. Probably don't like Bill Clinton there either. Anyway, Kim Jong-un is making a surprise visit to China. And he's being inducted into the Chinese Museum of Bad Haircuts. And holy shit, how did these people get my 8th grade picture, dude? Oof, not good for me, man. All right, so looking at Kim Jong-un's chart, okay, one of the things that we have to realize, and I've said this before, is I do not think that Kim Jong-un is going to be going out of power anytime soon. And the reason why is, according to my calculations, he's still in his Saturn dasha, and his Saturn is in a position of exaltation. People that are in their Saturn dasha usually do pretty well during that time period. After Saturn dasha ends, though, this is going to be in 2022, so we're looking a few years down the road. That's going to put him into his Mercury dasha, and since we don't know his but since we don't know his ascendant, we're going to have to use the moon. Now, the moon, being his ascendant, is actually in pretty well position in the 9th house here in the sign of Aquarius. I'm sorry, this is in the sign of Libra. So his ascendant actually is Aquarius because the moon, that's where that's placed. And then he has Mars and Pluto here. Normally when Mars and Aquarius get together, that's not really a good thing. However, because Mars is conjunct Aquarius and Aquarius is in its sign of exaltation, it tends to prop up Mars a little bit. And also, too, these two aren't very close in a very tight conjunction. They do influence each other because they're in the same signs, but it's not as tight. So, like, if you have something, what is this at 20 and 4? If they were like more like probably 10 degrees or less of an orb apart, you would see a lot more of that influence in his chart. Now, when he moves out of his Mercury dasha, his Mercury is going to be in his 11th house, retrograde in the sign of it's a Sagittarius, also conjunct his Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune. So this is also going to activate the sign of Sagittarius, and the Sun is fairly well placed there, and so is Jupiter. Now, retrograde Mercury, let's see if this actually rules his 5th and his 9th house. So actually, looking at this chart, I don't think Kim Jong-un is going anywhere anytime soon. Maybe there might be some reformation. I don't know. Sagittarius is actually all about the cause and all about black or white thinking. So I think he's pretty well ingrained into the communist way of thinking, and I don't foresee him changing his mind anytime soon. Now, one thing that you do want to keep in mind is he is under the influence of the Saturn transit right now, because Saturn is transiting through the sign of Sagittarius. So that does have some impact on 11th house matters like network circles and such. So we'll keep an eye on Mr. Jong-un. Actually, it's Mr. Kim, because I think Koreans put their last name first. So I would be Keegan Kevin, or Kevin Keegan, as a famous Brit would be called. Anyway, Alice Cooper says Jesus helped him with his addiction. Good, bravo to Alice Cooper. And Alice Cooper gave this in his 70th birthday interview. Yes, Alice Cooper is now 70, and God bless Alice Cooper. He lives here in Phoenix, does all kinds of great things for the community. I don't have any really bad things to say about Alice Cooper, and I also want to thank him for giving his makeup tips to Heath Ledger and the Joker, of course, because where else did he get that? I guess you could maybe say that he got his eyes punched or something, or he basically saw a raccoon that had bad makeup. But hey, anyway, thanks for Alice Cooper for that. So going into Alice Cooper's chart, we actually have a birth day and time. So he was actually born in Michigan Beach or Detroit Beach in this around Detroit. And anyway, look at all these fixed stars that he has going on for him too. So of course, ascendant here. So he is an Aries ascendant with the North Node in the 1st house. Definitely a rebel. Let's see. Okay, now Jupiter and Moon conjunct in the sign of Scorpio. fascination with the occult. And, it's not an unhealthy fascination. The only thing, well, actually, I take this back. Jupiter and Moon being conjunct in the eighth house can also show some difficulty with alcoholism, like he was saying. Another way that you can show alcoholism is one of the fixed stars that he has is actually Formulat, and that's actually also associated with alcohol. And his Mercury is conjunct that fixed planet here, and Venus is there in the sign of Aquarius. When something is close to Venus, it tends to make it a little more indulgent, to say the least. Let's see, what else does he have going on? Retrograde Saturn in, let's see, the sign of Cancer here. That's in the fourth house. That could be kind of difficult. Actually, he's got a Sun-Saturn aspect here. Are these mutual? No, they're not in mutual reception. So, or I'm sorry, in mutual sign exchange. But this can show difficulty with the father. Interesting. I wonder, you know what? I really want to look up Alice Cooper and see how his relationship was with his father, because this can be fairly difficult. Usually, Jupiter and Moon here is something that's very sexual in nature. Probably more in the early life, because now I know he's like a conservative Christian. And let's see, so then we can take a look at his Navamsa chart to kind of show how Jupiter ended up. Jupiter actually is powerful, and Navamsa went to the sign here of Pisces in the 12th house. That's actually very interesting. That shows somebody that's moving more towards spirituality. Then his Venus, Mars, and Neptune are here in the sign of Gemini. Definitely great for broadcasting, media, things like that. Now, the interestingly enough, I don't see very much of a musical influence on his chart. Usually that's dictated by Venus. Maybe Venus in the 11th house here conjunct Mercury, but really for him, I think music and all that expression, I guess formula is associated with music. But for him with Mercury, it's more of a cerebral thing. So very interesting. Never done Alice Cooper's chart before. Next, we have the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and it keeps growing. And let me tell you, another news, Facebook quizzes are garbage. Gee, who knew that these quizzes could be used for anything and could be used to collect data? I mean, come on, people. Oh, God. Just don't take these quizzes. I saw a quiz on there. It was like saying you'd have a 180 IQ. Dude, like nobody has a 180 IQ, okay? Maybe Stephen Hawking, and I think his IQ was like 190 or something like that. So that just goes to show you how rare very smart people are. We need to hang on to them. We need to hug them, all right? So moving on. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the age of Aquarius. So this is where the planets are currently right now, and one of the things that we need to keep an eye on in the age of Aquarius is the planet Uranus. And what does Uranus mean, or Uranus, your rectum, if you want to be fancy? What does Uranus mean? And it's really about the internet, information, how it's exchanged. And this is really starting to put a modern twist on the Uranian theme. So really right now, a lot of the big changes that we've been seeing right now in society have been in regards to this Uranus, Pluto, let's see, they were square from 2012 to 2015. And there was about, I believe, 5 exact hits when both of these planets went retrograde. Just to kind of give you some astrological context, actually right before the Great Depression, around the stock market crash in 1930, these two were square each other. That was only 3 hits. So right now we're going through a lot of sociological upheaval. And so the way that I kind of see how things are playing out is really, it's all about information. It's all about that Uranian quality. How do we get access to information? How do we express ourselves? How do we communicate differently? So really the age of Aquarius and the Aquarian age to me reflects around technology and how information is distributed. So that's just a little bit of my take on the age of Aquarius. But if you want to know more, there's plenty of books on it out there. But really another thing too, Uranus just worked its way into the sign of Aries, okay? And this is denoting a new Uranian cycle. Anytime that planet works its way into Aries, it starts the cycle all over again from a mundane perspective. Now, to get more individual perspectives, you have to take a look at a chart, and really things start over again when a planet goes into the first house. But for mundane perspectives, we just use Aries. So yeah, a lot of revolution going on too with Uranus and Aries and the whole information revolution, and fascinating stuff to watch. So that is all I had for today. I hope you liked my broadcast. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you actually in a couple of days to talk about March predictions. I like to get them out there tomorrow. So I'm going to do March predictions tomorrow. So if you don't know what they're like, I'm going to do April predictions. I should do my March predictions right now, because then I'd never be wrong, right? Haha, I'm on to myself. All right. Have a good day.